Then obviously on Monday evening, the big story was Burlington, where there are reports of over 200 millimeters of rain. And here's the worst news. There is the potential for more thunderstorms again on Tuesday. And why that's not great news, it's not that they're going to be severe thunderstorms, but the type of storms we've been seeing lately are those slow-moving ones that just drop a lot of rain and a lot of rain in localized areas. And that's why we have experienced so much flooding. Now, on a similar note, there's still the potential for thunderstorms through the Maritimes on Tuesday. We saw a few on Monday popping up in New Brunswick, and New Brunswick has the best chance again. They're going to be very isolated, generally non-severe in nature, but parts of Nova Scotia and PEI could see a few lightning strikes and hear a few rumbles of thunder as well. You know, we do have the potential to see some thunderstorms in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Again, they should stay isolated. Best chance for severe thunderstorms, though, will be in southern Saskatchewan through the day on Tuesday. Don't go anywhere. A closer look at your Tuesday forecast. That saw heavy amounts of rain right across the GTA toward Guelph, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge. We all saw it with these thunderstorms, but the thing was, it wasn't that the thunderstorms themselves were so intense, it's that they didn't move, and that one thunderstorm over Burlington in particular just stayed there, and it rained and it rained. Some people saying, some observations saying, there was close to 200 millimeters of rain in the Burlington area. Temperatures weren't really an issue, though. We were very seasonal at nearly 29 degrees at Pearson Airport. Temperatures are actually going to be a bit cooler once this cold front pushes through. So Tuesday, not so much, but you'll really notice it Wednesday. The unfortunate thing about that cold front, it still could act as a trigger as we head through the day on Tuesday to see more thunderstorms. And let's face it, more rain is the last thing most of us need, especially if we're dealing with a flooded out basement like we are for many of us in the Burlington area. So we paint an area in yellow, not to say that everyone will see a thunderstorm, but that everyone has the potential to see a thunderstorm, and a few cells may pop up through the day, with heavy rain once again being the biggest threat. 25 degrees in Mississauga will feel like 30 for Tuesday, and then you can see we're going to slowly lose a lot of that humidity over the next few days. Hey, please stay with us if you can. Coming up next, a lot of rain like we saw in around Puerto Rico, for example, parts of the Dominican Republic reporting over 100, even 150 millimeters of rain over the weekend. Now, what you're seeing here, and we'll bring it full screen so you get a better look, but on Hurricane Bertha, a Category 1 hurricane. So you can see it spinning essentially and moving over the last day or so. It's going to continue along this path and start moving further and further east and north as it tracks. And you can see eventually by midweek, by Wednesday, it should weaken back into a tropical storm, but it does look to stay just south of the Avalon Peninsula. It looks as though by Thursday and early Thursday, St. John's could be feeling the impacts of Bertha. Now, that being said, in the Pacific, we do have Hurricane Iselle, and the reason we wanted to draw your attention to that is because it could be moving closer to Honolulu, Hawaii by the end of the week. So if you have any travel plans for business or for pleasure, if you are heading to Hawaii by the end of the week, we're talking Thursday, Friday into Saturday, again, there could be some stormier conditions. Now, don't go anywhere. We have incredible footage from the floods in southern Ontario coming up next.
You're watching
on Monday. He was mentioning that Burlington in just a few hours saw 2 months worth of rain. All of the rain you typically see in August and July put together, you saw more of that in just a few hours. And unfortunately, the risk is there once again for Tuesday to see thunderstorms. It looks a little bit worse here than it will be, but potentially more flooding rains if you see a thunderstorm. And why does flash flooding happen? Here's Jacqueline.
It actually is.
Thanks, Jacqueline. And as you mentioned, that can happen with 30 to 40 millimeters of rain, but how about nearly 200 millimeters? And that's what we were dealing with in the Burlington area. Now, specifically for Wednesday, after the cold front has pushed through, you will notice that temperatures are cooling. Tuesday morning, still the risk for thunderstorms for most of us. 19 degrees to start the day in the city of Toronto. But again, that risk for thunderstorms will linger into the afternoon. Do not go anywhere. In our next segment, Kim will take us around the world.
Go to the...
we got it on.
Thank you very much, Kim. And obviously, we want to focus on our biggest story, the widespread flooding across the city of Burlington on Monday. Holiday Monday, people all trying to get home from the cottage, from their long weekend, and literally thousands of people stuck in traffic because major highways have been flooded out and side roads as well. How we're going to add to that story is the potential for more thunderstorms. The last thing people specifically in Burlington need, more rain. But you can see here the cold front is moving very, very slowly through the day Tuesday right across southern Ontario. And because of that, it could still act as a trigger for more thunderstorms. And with the kind of thunderstorms we've been seeing, with what feels like the last several weeks, not everyone sees a thunderstorm, but if you do, it just sits there and brings rain and rain and rain. And so localized flooding on Tuesday is certainly not out of the question. It's just hard to say who is actually going to see the localized flooding next. But the Risk is widespread for thunderstorms. You can see temperatures by Thursday slowly start to cool. Even by Wednesday, once that cold front swings through, we lose a lot of our humidity. So be prepared for cooler, cleaner air as we head through the middle of the week. And do not go anywhere. Amazing, shocking photos like this coming up in our next segment. Now, could we see more flooding in southern Ontario with the risk for thunderstorms on Tuesday? We'll talk all about that coming up in our next segment.
Visit our